2020 was a rough year. People didn't like it. It was rough for everyone. But hey, the year is almost over, and we are just waiting for that clock to tick-tock, and it will be 2021, and hopefully we will have a better year. I, of course, am optimistic, stayed positive, and enjoyed my 2020. I always looked on the bright side. I mean, look, Steve got into Smash, we finally found the original Minecraft title screen series, we finally got the on-scale that we've been asking for, even though people aren't grateful. The best part is the games, and that's what we will be working at today. I am Nintendo Boy, and today we will be working at the top 7 games of 2020. Before we start our list, please remember that this is only my opinion. You may disagree with me, and that is perfectly okay. I am not going to say you are wrong, and if you disagree, please let me know in the comments, and hopefully we will have a civil acceptance. Here are the rules. I must have played the game. Must have released in 2020. I'm sorry, Among Us. Remakes/remasters are allowed. However, ports, whether or not they are allowed, depends on how much new stuff has been added. For example, if Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was released in 2020, it would have been allowed because of the new characters, battle modes, items, etc. But Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch, it's released in 2020, it wouldn't be allowed because all they added was a new character that makes the game easier, and that's about it. Number 6. Number 7. Now I am a newcomer to the Animal Crossing franchise. My first game was New Leaf, and other than that, I played Amiibo Festival, but despite everyone hating that game, I kinda enjoyed it. And when Animal Crossing for Switch was announced alongside Isabelle being a new fighter in Smash Bros., I was excited. However, when we got more information on the game, including the name New Horizons, I was disappointed because it's a new concept. Why did that disappoint me? Because I wanted more of New Leaf, because I have been unmotivated to not play that game for reasons I did not want to explain, because that would get us off topic. But later I realized that didn't matter. When I finally got the game, I loved it. It was so much fun crafting, and the new Nook phone was a great addition, because it made some things a lot easier. Now you might be asking, why is this game so low on the list? Because it got boring after a while, to the point where I had to force myself to go back to it. I will give Nintendo credit that the game has gotten updates, but for me and some people, it wasn't really enough to motivate me to go back. It only really worked on the first update. Now then, on to number 6. Now I'm going to be honest with you. Recently I've been avoiding fourth-party games. Most of the time they are either not very good and only exist so that people making it can make a quick buck, or it's a PlayStation exclusive. Looking at you, Spider-Man for the PS4 and Spider-Man Miles Morales for the PS5. However, one of the very exceptions was SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom. Rehydrated. They took Super Mario 64 and Sunshine and made it a SpongeBob game. I used to be a huge SpongeBob fan, and while I'm not anymore, I still enjoy this game. This game has 3 playable characters: SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy, each with their different abilities. The main collectible of the game is phone spatulas, and there are a lot of them. And the bosses are really fun, especially the robot bosses of the 3 playable characters, which are this game's equivalent to the boss fights from Super Mario 64. The story is also really funny. Plankton is creating a robot army and preparing his attack on Bikini Bottom, and also to get the Krabby Patty formula, but he forgets to set his switch from don't obey to obey, and because of that, the robots end up betraying him. And now SpongeBob and the other 2 playable characters have to help Plankton, but although Plankton definitely doesn't double-cross him, I think it's funny how Plankton makes a small mistake like this. Even though it barely changes the gameplay or story, I just think it's funny. Number 5. Okay, so unlike the other games for this list, I don't really have a good way of entertaining you before a game, so I'm just gonna review the game now. Just help me stick my collection. I never really got into games until 2020, which is when they got popular. These games were just so funny. The gameplay is very simple. After a cutscene, you will have some choices. Some of these choices make more sense to others, but they are all equally likely to be the right choice. You could pick the one that makes the most sense, and you'd still end up getting killed, and pick the other one that makes sense until you realize the one that was the right choice is the whoopee cushion. In any other game, this would be very frustrating, but in this game, it not only isn't, but also fun, because you can literally go back and pick the others. The most difficult these games get are some quick time events, but the difficulty of that game isn't really that good. Why is this game so good? It's because of how funny it is. Whether you make the correct choice or not, you always wind up glad. Whether it's from references to original games or its original sense of humor, you'll always end up laughing. The cherry on top is that every time you fail, there is a line of dialogue the narrator gives you, and it changes depending on how you fail. For example, if you pick chance time and the thing you need ends up being given to the bad guy, you'll fail, and the narrator will say, chance time always screws you over. And if you try to get a lawyer to prove your innocence and escape prison and you end up picking the wrong one, the lawyer you pick will say, I was just joking, and you'll end up getting a guilty verdict, and the narrator will say, what kind of third-rate lawyer did you hire? It's different every time, and that's why I love it.
Number 4.
Now we had rumors of 3D Mario collections going around for a long time. We thought we were going to get games like Galaxy 2 and 3D Land and World. And unfortunately we only got the first 3 3D Marios, which in my opinion is just fair. But that does not mean Super Mario 3D also isn't a fun experience. This was my first time playing Super Mario Sunshine, and even though it was frustrating at times,
it did not disappoint.
The other 2 games that came with 64 Galaxy were a joy to play as well, even though I didn't finish either. But Nintendo boy, it did not come with Galaxy 2, or 3D Land, or Super Mario 64 DS. That's why it's only on number 4, you annoying little kid who didn't have your parents' permission to be on YouTube. Number 3. Trust me, if I made this list for 2018, I would have put the original Baldis Basics on the list. And yes, Baldis Basics started out as a Game Jam game, but it became popular enough to get a full game, which we still have yet to get. But the game did get early access, and I was one of the people to get it, and yes, I have bragging rights. We still have yet to get the full game, but it did get early access, which is why Baldis Basics Plus is on the list. This game is so great as it gives us new characters,
rooms, items, randomly generated level,
more stuff. I don't really have anything to say about this other than what's already been
before.
And about it, but oh boy, it's really good. A perfect combination of the early 90s educational games, which were really bad, and those horror games. It's not really that scary, but when it's scary, it is scary. Like Mrs. Pump, I'm so scared of her that when she invites me to her class, I make her ride into her class priority number 1. And you can make the argument that this is just a Kickstarter
exclusive demo.
More cosmetics, a new character, and a new item. But I never played the Kickstarter demo, and again, this is my opinion, so yeah. Number 2. I love Battle Royale games, whether it's Fortnite, Super Mario 35, Tetris 99, or this entry on the list, Fall Guys. Fall Guys is so much fun. Basically in Fall Guys there's 60 players, and each round there's a minigame. If you don't do good enough in the minigame, you lose and are eliminated. Eventually you get to the finale where only one can win, and whoever does gets crowned. With Fortnite, the game has a currency, which you can use to buy cosmetics, but unlike Fortnite, you can get it for more than just paying your money. Fall Guys is an amazing game, which is why it's number 2 on my list. Honorable mentions. Before we get to our number 1 pick, let's look at our honorable mentions. These are games I never got the chance to play, but I think deserve to be mentioned on this list, so I'll mention them here. Hyrule Warriors: Age of Polarity. I played the demo, barely from it, and played the other than some stupid Joy-Cons with. I really enjoyed it. The game is so much fun, and it really makes you feel so cool, especially with the moves that you can pull off. The story also adds a lot to the game, and it's really so cool. Kirby Fighters 2. I love Kirby, and I would have loved this game, but unfortunately I never got the chance to play it, and I would have loved this game. But don't worry, Santa Claus is getting it for me, so don't you worry. I'll play it soon enough, don't you worry. Spider-Man Miles Morales. This game is a sequel to the Spider-Man game on the PS4, which I really wanted to play because 1, it looked so much fun, and 2, I love Spider-Man.
One problem was that I did not have
PS4. Now that I even got a sequel for the PS5 based off the animated movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which I love. And again, it's a PS exclusive, so I can chat. Crash Bandicoot 4. Again, another game. I couldn't play because it wasn't on the Switch, but it was on every console except for the Switch, so yeah, after the chat. Hopefully in 2021 it will come to the Switch, but until then, I'm just gonna hope it does. Pikmin 3 the worst. I played the demo for this game and again, I loved it. It was so fun to play and I really wanted to get into the Pikmin games. Because Orwell likes them, so yeah, always the reason that I want to play Pikmin, so shout out to Orwell. He's a really good YouTuber, you should sub to him. I really like this game. Overall, quick overview. Age of Calamity, Kirby Fighters 2, and Pikmin 3 the worst. I'm probably going to get this Christmas. With Spider-Man Miles Morales and Crash Bandicoot 4, once they get a Switch port, I'm probably not going to be playing them anytime soon. Now about honorable dimensions out of the way, it's time for number 1. Number 1. Now Paper Mario has had a rough time. Entries with beloved graphics, but since 1000 Year Door, things weren't that good. Super Paper Mario was Paper Mario, but instead of an RPG, it was a platform with RPG elements. Oh yes, there was some bright sides, like for the story, which is other people's opinion, not mine. The best game of Benedict Morgan. But then we got Sticker Star, which brought back the turn-based battles, but at the cost of literally everything else people loved about Paper Mario. Yeah, and so the injury, the battle system wasn't that good. And all Color Splash did was put a band-aid of funny more ones on a broken leg. And then the doctors who got the first aid kit and built a broken leg of Paper Mario the Origami King. So that way wasn't the same as it was before. And it's no 1000 Year Door, but it's still fun. Bobby and Olivia were amazing, and we teamed up with Bells, and something that hasn't happened in the Paper Mario series since Super. This game is so funny, and the world is so overall is so great, and actual fights can happen on the battlefield. I don't mean no turn-based fights, I mean fights that you normally see in mainline Mario games. This is done via Paper Mario enemies, and yes, bosses are so fun. Each one does something differently, since it goes in one hit. They've together the way, that's with strategy. And a co-op forces you to play rock, paper, scissors, etc. The game's story is great too, Bobby had to watch the game's story. Gameplay-wise, it barely has anything, it wasn't just in the way. But he's so involved in the story, it's just so much fun to have him around and play with him. His character arc is so good, and you don't team up with just battles, you team up with the battle treaty, and you gotta explore Bowser's castle, and you gotta take it back to Princess. It's also a game show, and a aircraft battle. I wouldn't like that one. Wicked musical numbers. The game is built to the brim with charm. I do think we will get a return for eventually, but it's gonna be a game like Origami King to satisfy us. And that's why it's number 1 on this list. 2020, like I said before, was a rough year. People died, people cried. Violence was everywhere, trauma was everywhere, people fighting left and right. For me, I was into violence, which I'm not allowed to say because because YouTube. 2020 was really that bad a year. I must really be an optimist for saying happy for the entirety of such a year. But hey, if you're watching this video, you must have already survived, which is a good day. Anyway, happy holidays, happy new year, and let's all hope 2021 is many better.